What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. We need to talk about some HBCU football, and we need to talk about Mr. Cam Newton. Cam Newton and Desean Jackson's criticisms of the Grambling State and Bethune Cookman fight that recently happened on this past last Saturday, right? Um, there's been a lot of conversation around it, and a lot of conversation that I feel like to me is not okay. It's not okay for several reasons. But I'm gonna let y'all come on in here first. Sheldon, what's going on with you, man? What's the word, boss? I'm gonna let y'all come on in here a little bit before I start going on my tangent. But I have some things to say regarding the comments that Cam Newton and Desean Jackson allegedly said, right? I heard Cam Newton's comments clear, like on 4th and 1, his YouTube channel. And I disagree with his statements wholeheartedly. But I'm gonna let y'all come on in here a little bit. What's the word, man? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Hope everybody all right. Y'all talk to me in the chat real quick. You know what I'm saying? Real Kappa Alpha side out today, you know. Uh, but we gonna have a conversation, man. What's up, y'all? So basically, Sheldon, Bethune Cookman and Grambling State, they had a fight last Saturday. It was a brawl on the field. The brawl went on for a little minute. One of the coaches basically was like, "Listen, if you we gonna bring disrespect. We're gonna address disrespect wherever it's shown." Basically, um, he was in agreement with the fight happening, right? Like he was basically saying he was cool with his team brawling in that situation because they were disrespected. And after all of this happened, after the brawl happened, you had a lot of Jason Whitlock and them couldn't wait to see the brawl happen. So they could say this why HBCU basically, look at black culture. The culture around black people is so toxic. Look at this brawl that happened. Look how they were fighting. And look how the coach is basically making excuses for the brawl. And he's giving the okay for the brawl to happen. He was basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, he was cool with it happening. He was fine with it happening, and he was feeling vindicated in the brawl after the game. But anyway, a lot of people like Jason Woodlock, they were ready to attack black culture and so on and so forth. Cam Newton came out and basically said that this brawl happening set HBCUs back, right? Like, oh man, what if this was on College Game Day? What if this was on ESPN? What if this was like on CBS, one of these main networks, and it's happened? Now the visibility for HBCUs is going to be even more limited now because of this fight. Now they're not going to want to air HBCUs more often now, because look what happened when the game was aired, and look at how we represented ourselves in this moment and all that shit. Like, and I want people to understand this. Even the thought of people thinking that because a brawl happened between two HBCU football teams, now the networks are somehow vindicated and not airing HBCU football anymore, and basically making the decreasing visibility even more, right? The thought that, man, okay, now they're going to really take your stuff away from us. No, that's not okay, y'all. That's racism. It should never be okay. Just because two teams had a fight, two HBCU football teams had a fight, now, oh man, they're going to take everything away from us. Now they never, no, man. That's racism. Even the fact that we even think like that is going to be a repercussion of the fight. No, things happen in football and sports in general, right? If these big programs fought on TV, they will never say, "Oh, we never gonna have this program on. We never gonna have this football team on air anymore. We never gonna show teams from the dang on from the Pac-12 anymore because of this fight that happened. No, right? And to use that for a network or anybody to use that as an excuse to decrease visibility of HBCU football because two teams had a fight, like that is a cop out. That's a cop out. A lot of these networks don't want to show the games in general at all, right? They don't care to show HBCU football, even though the top players in football nationwide, majority of the time, even at the big programs, majority of the programs are made up of black players. They look down on HBCU football and HBCUs in general, so they already don't want to show our schools on TV like that because it's not pouring into their revenue stream. But to sit here and say, oh, yeah, well, now they're not gonna want to show us at all. Now look at how this set us back. No, it did not. No, don't say that. We are the only group of people who get judged as a whole. We get judged collectively, right? When other like if a group of white football players fault, nobody would say, man, that's why we shouldn't air these white players on TV no more. These white school, predominantly white institutions, we shouldn't show them no more. Nobody gonna say that, right? They're gonna say, man, look, it was just a few kids that was being knuckleheads, and that's it. Nobody gonna say, oh man, all this team full of knuckleheads. I mean, all these schools like this full of knuckleheads and heathens, so we shouldn't show all of them. No. But with black people, we are the only people who get judged as a group. As a group. And that's horrible. It's not, that shouldn't be a thing. And I don't want black people to fall into thinking that's a thing, because that is the mindset that our ancestors had, right? Because of systemic racism was at an all-time high. We still have systemic racism thriving now, right? And it was blatant, overt racism out in the open. Jim Crow America, our ancestors, our grandparents and stuff used to say stuff like, oh, it set us all back. They're not gonna let any of us get on TV now because, or we're not gonna get an opportunity to shine because of this. Because, you know, they knew that racism was overt and in the open, and it was just not going to be a possibility. But even our ancestors back then, I think now some of them would address that differently, because that should never be the case, that because two football programs fault, now no HBCUs should be shown on TV at all. That shouldn't be a thing. Walker saying, yeah, wasn't Cam just fighting a year or two ago? Listen, Cam was out there fighting the mascot. Now people say they was playing, but Cam looked like he wanted to really, really brawl with Alabama A&M's Bulldog mascot, right? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. And then even Desean Jackson, I heard he was criticizing it and calling it ghetto and all that. Desean was out here repping Suwoo. Like he was out here, wasn't he out here repping the Bloods? You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, like, come on. What sets us back is that people like Cam only mention HBCUs in times like this. Facts. That is a fact, Ricky. Yeah, so saying, oh, that fight set us back, no. What set us back is, like you said, people only want to mention HBCUs when it's time to when it's time to talk about something negative happening, right? No one tries to give shine to HBCUs, you know, when teams are playing well, when they got top tier talent, or talent is shining bright within the SWAC or the MEAC or anything like that, you know. But the simply, I really don't think Cam even thought about it. Him even thinking this idea that, oh, because the teams fall, now all HBCU visibility will just be gone now. Now it gives them credence, it gives them validity to take HBCU football off of mainstream television now because of this fight. Oh, now they're gonna take it away. It set us back. No, that should never be okay. That should never be acceptable. That should never be an excuse at all. Because they will never look, if I'm not going to even use the Power 5 schools, right? I don't know, man. Let's just say, hell, Boise State and Marshall fought on TV. You think they're never going to put Boise State and Marshall on TV again? Yes, they're going to put them on TV. It's not going to be, oh, no, we're not putting them on TV because they fought. No, it's not going to be a conversation, right? But again, with black people, black schools, predominantly black teams, majority black teams, black people get looked at where we get judged collectively, not individually. The actions of few, and the actions of few basically indicate the actions of all. And that doesn't apply to everybody else, Yeah, man, like Sheldon, what Sheldon say? Yeah, like, come on, man. How come black people as a whole get judged because of actions of a few? We're not allowed to paint other brushes. Yeah, we're not allowed to paint other races with a broad brush. Yeah, like, let's be for real. We're not allowed to do that. But with us, it's always we get painted with the degenerate brush. The actions of a few dictate the actions of all. We get judged by the few. They always say with black folks, a few bad apples spoils the whole bunch. But when it's any other group of people, oh, it's just a few bad apples, man. It's no big deal. Everybody else is good kids. Oh man, we can't punish the other kids for what these few kids did. But with black people, oh man, all these black kids like this. All these black kids at these HBCUs are like this. So all of them get condemned. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Sheldon say, do others claim they're degenerates or degenerate behavior? Nope. So this doesn't apply to me. Man, facts. And look, man, I don't want people fighting on TV and acting up and wilding out. I don't, right? I didn't want them brawling. I didn't want them, getting into some type of spat after the game or getting into physical altercations all on the field. I didn't want that. And I don't think, it's cool for them to be doing that at all, right? Don't think it's a good look at all for them to be doing that. However, I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like, you talking, don't be sleep. You talking, don't be sleep. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and think that, like you said, dictate that HBCUs have to be perfect in order to be shown on television or to be showcased, right? Because don't be sleep talking it real. HBCUs don't have to be perfect. He said Penn State scandal with Jerry Sandusky. Yes, they swept it under the rug, even though it was alleged that Joe Paterno and them knew about the stuff. They knew that allegedly Joe Paterno and them knew what was going on, what Sandusky was doing to them young boys. And you still will have people talking about the great Joe Paterno. They won't take Penn State off TV at all. Penn State will always get shine. They will always get uplifted. But with HBCUs, we have they got this big magnifying glass on us, and one wrong infraction, we will get banished to the land of no return. That's racist, man. That's racist that the black schools get all these type of we get held to these perfect standards. We have to be exemplary and perfect. But that just goes to black people struggle in general. We got to be 3 times as good to get anything that they got, and we still ain't gonna get what they got in general. And we held to a different standard and judged differently, right? Judged to a complete different standard. And I think it's terrible for Cam Newton and Desean Jackson them to come out and act like, oh, this set us back. No, Cam. And see, sometimes, man, some people can mean well, but they need guidance before speaking on certain things. Anybody close to Cam will say, hey, bro, anybody that's knowledgeable about things will say, Cam, that's not what you're supposed to say. No, we're not going to give them an out to decrease visibility of HBCU football, because they damn sure going to get the if a player is great at the HBCU program, they're going to poach their talent from the HBCU program for sure. They ain't going to say, oh, you came from that school that was fighting on TV. If a brother putting up 1,200 receiving yards at one of these schools or rushing for 1,300 yards, and they going to poach that player, they ain't going to say, we don't want you no more because you was at Bethune Cookman and we seen y'all fighting. We don't want you no more because you was at Grambling State and we seen y'all brawling on TV. Hell no. They ain't going to do that then. You know what I'm saying? And exactly, Sheldon. Desean Jackson can't talk, because Desean had blood allegations all on his name the whole time he was in the NFL. You know, so I'm telling you, man. Sometimes people need to talk to certain people before they start making certain points on platforms because they don't know how dangerous certain rhetoric is. Jason Whitlock used Cam Newton's quotes and basically said it was truth to power that Cam was speaking. Cam was like, "It set us back. It set us back. It made us look bad. Look how it made us." Man, what? Come on, man. White folks don't they don't even claim the trailer park trash they be on these damn talk shows like Jerry Springer and stuff. They don't even talk about them. They don't claim them at all, right? But with black folks, we get judged as a whole. And the one, what actions of two people? That's the actions of every black person. You know, everybody else don't get judged collectively like that. They get judged individually. You know, and like my man said, Penn State had them allegations all going on around Jerry Sandusky. And people say Joe Paterno knew what was going on. And he let it rock and let it ride, and they still will get up here and talking about what type of great coach and great man old Joe Paterno was. They not gonna banish Penn State from playing on TV. Not at all. They're gonna keep showing that program over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And Black Mall say, yeah, Cam went viral fighting, getting into it with coaches at his football camp. Yes, and somebody else brought up that point, Black Mall. Hell, Cam was getting aggressive with the Alabama A&M mascot a little bit ago. You know? And come on, man. That's why I don't like when, boy, with certain people, like when Camden come out and say stuff like this. Oh man. Oh man, look, it just set us back. It made us look so bad. What if this was on College Game Day and all of that? Man, they didn't have College Game Day on and fights then broke out then. And they still talk about how, it doesn't represent how the fine institution at University of Florida is, the fine institution that the Ohio State University is, the fine institution that USC is, and Michigan, University of Michigan. All right, come on, man. Yeah. Mac, the problem is that black people not only claim but praise black degeneracy. Man, listen. You see, that ain't all black folks that do that. Yeah, one thing happened and it set us all back. Come on, bro. What is yeah. Unstoppable 25 say, I hate when black people say one thing happens, it set us back. We have always been set back since our ancestors arrived in this country. Facts. We always been set back, man. So what? Oh, it set us back, man. We always been behind the 8 ball. But again, that was things that our ancestors would say back in the day. You know, oh, that set us back. That set us back. Not realizing they was never trying to put us on equal footing with them in the first place. And the fact that we are out here thinking, you got people out here saying and basically vindicating networks from not showing us again because of a fight or a brawl that happened between two teams. That's crazy. Like even saying, oh man, they ain't gonna show us no more. No, that should never be the case, man. That should never be that's the situation at all. I'm still on here, y'all. I'm still on here, y'all. And you say blacks praise degenerate culture. Zero say we do not praise black degeneracy. There's a lot of us that denounce the behavior. I mean, of course, when something is wild and out of pocket, a lot of us denounce that behavior, right? But just say he's saying black folks be praising black degeneracy. Oh no, white folks praise they are degeneracy too. You see it in I saw it in white frat boy culture. white frat boy culture. I mean, all at Arkansas State University, hollering out racial slurs at folks, having sexual assault allegations all on the name, and doing it all for all in the name of being a frat boy and a party goer and a young rock star. Come on, man. Yeah, Calvin. That's what I'm saying. Cam just was viral for fighting a mascot, Alabama A&M's mascot. Yeah, man. Like, and like I said, man, things happen. Things happen on the football field. People get into fights, but to act like, oh man, oh, Master gonna get us now. He sure gonna get us now. He not gonna let us sit at the big boy table no more. We not gonna be able to eat the fine food he eat. We not gonna be able to do none of the old things we used to do. He ain't gonna let us be at the table with him no more. We not gonna be able to eat the good old rice and gravy. We gonna have to eat the pig slop now. We not gonna be. Come on, man. Come on, man. Golly. Now, my line, brother. Now, what's up, Nuke? You say you remember when that girl got hit with that golf club at the white frat house on campus? This is at Arkansas State University, right? Shout out, Nuke. You feel me? Right on campus at the frat house, girl got hit with a golf club at the white frat house on campus. So, yeah. So to act like, oh, black degeneracy only gets celebrated. Man, white folks be having degeneracy all throughout their culture, too. You know what I'm saying? And it gets celebrated as just being a boy. Just being a boy. Boys will be boys behavior. In the frat houses, racist. I mean, all type of racial slurs getting thrown around up in the white frat houses. I wasn't up in them, the white frat houses, but this is what you're hearing. Accusations of sexual assault, everything. So what? I don't know, man. The people act like black people is the only ones that display any degeneracy within our groups. But like I told y'all, we the only people who get judged collectively. Everybody else get judged individually. And I'm so glad he brought up that point about Sandusky, because for real, like, they would never take Penn State off TV for that. And yeah, so I'm looking at y'all comments, man, for real. Reggie said the other races don't publicly badmouth their people like us, and that's our problem. Yes, that's true. Other races don't even talk about their degenerates. They're degenerates. White folks don't even talk about the people that be on the Jerry Springer show. They act like they don't exist. Same Indians, they don't talk about their degenerates. You know what I'm saying? You don't see. I'm not talking about not the natives. I'm talking about Indians, like from India. They won't talk about their degenerates. Asians won't talk about their degenerates at all. None whatsoever. You won't hear a peep about them. When it's time to talk about any white degenerates they used to be on Jerry Springer, you can hear catfish piss in the water. They quiet about their degenerates. So yeah, and hey, no, business trying, that's a fact. They gloss over all the fights that happen, all that charging the mound that happens in Major League Baseball. Running out, and it ain't a lot of brothers in baseball, black American brothers. It's definitely not. All that charging the mound and swinging on folks that be happening in baseball and hockey. In hockey, that's not a sport where brothers are plentiful at all. Finding brothers in hockey is like finding 3 needles in a haystack. All right. And they let it rock. I mean, they were showing the best fights in hockey on SportsCenter. They used to highlight the fights, the hockey fights on SportsCenter. I know, because I used to watch SportsCenter around the clock. They would highlight them fights all the time. Nobody's gonna say, "Hey man, we can't watch the goddamn the um um the Dodgers versus the Red Sox no more." Because they didn't charge the mound. They didn't charge the mound this time. Oh man. Can't watch the Blackhawks versus the New York Rangers no more. All this fighting. Man, no, they be letting them rock out and fight in hockey. And nobody say, oh man, look at these degenerates in hockey. Oh, they're just heathens, they're savages, they're scoundrels. Nobody does that to them at all. Like, business trying to say like there was a big brawl betting between the Texas Rangers and the Blue Jays a few years ago. And they celebrated that so much, they made a mural of it in Arlington, Texas. For real? That's crazy. I didn't even know that. See, stuff like that, right? You see how degeneracy, when it's not within Black culture, it gets highlighted and celebrated like a mug too. So they act like, oh, only Black people celebrate degenerates. Man, what? They highlight it and laugh at their degenerate moments a lot too. But again, they don't get villainized for their degeneracy. That's the issue. So they do be charging the mound. They throw the replay on ESPN. What? Charging the mound like crazy all the time. You know, Juice, what's happening, bro? He say, what's up, Mills? But you know, Black negativity is a hustle, and we're the scapegoats in the face for all violence in America. That's that old Charlie Kirk, that Charlie Kirkisms. Black folks just the most violent people in the world, and we got to be afraid of all Black folks and watch out for the violent Blacks in this world, right? Yeah, and we constantly under attack, for real. And like I said, yes, it's a form of white supremacy. Even Cam Newton saying that the fight between Bethune Cookman and Grambling State is going to affect Black folks being Black HBCUs being put on television in the future. That's racist to even say, oh, they ain't gonna put us on TV no more. Why wouldn't they? When we know fights happen in sports a lot. Yeah, Anton Daniels still mad that the Black girls he liked did not like him. He's still mad at that, and so he's trying to find vindication for that, brother. Just because you ain't got no game, just because you didn't have no sauce about yourself, just because you didn't have no charisma, no trauma about yourself, don't get mad at all Black girls because you didn't have no game to get the girl you liked. Goddamn, brother. Unstoppable 25 say, did Cam Newton say it set us back when Michigan and Ohio fought? Where was Cam and the white folks? Yeah, man. Did that set us back? See, when you represent their institutions, oh, it's all good. Now, like it's all right. It's all right, y'all. You know, we know y'all fault, but we gonna live to fight another day on TV. Cause you go to the University of Michigan, cause you go to Alabama, cause you go to LSU. You know what I mean? Cause you go to Florida State, cause you go to the University of Miami. You know, it's all good. It's all good. Cause you go to Indiana. Shout out to Indiana now. I think the reason why Black degeneracy is so talked about is because we play a large part in pop culture. Man, and again, it's the same culture that a lot of them try to emulate. When I watch Sports Center, the same culture that they call degenerate, these same announcers who are not Black are using Black slogans and all of that, trying to emulate the late great Stuart Scott, using all type of Black slang and everything that come out of the Black community. Same culture they holler is degenerate like it ain't nothing. Yeah, hockey, a white dominated sport, all they do is fight until they knock each other teeth out their mouth. They be out there with teeth missing like they do meth on the on the dang on ice, right? Because they from fighting and punching each other lights out all day. Brother, they be having black eyes and all of that. And it's still all good. It's highlighted, it's celebrated. Nobody says, look how barbaric these men are. This is egregious. This is appalling. They say, oh man, it's just passion for the game. It's just, hard-nosed, rough, rugged athletes. That's it. He said, Anton Daniels, I just started knowing who Buddy is. I'll just say, I bet I never run into this N-word in person. I can't stand that type of brother. Yeah, man. And see, for me, like, I went to my undergrad years. I graduated with my bachelor's degree from a HBCU, Mississippi Valley State University, alma mater to the greatest football player of all time, in many people's opinion, Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley State University, and Deacon Jones as well, the late great Deacon Jones, Mississippi Valley State University. But anyway, yeah, man, like I'm gonna, even if I didn't go to a HBCU, I would still advocate for HBCUs. But now I feel it in a different way. Cause no, we're not gonna say, oh, now swag schools shouldn't be showcased and all of that, and HBCUs shouldn't be showcased anymore because a fight happened. Let's be for real, man. The Mississippi in the bit. Shout out to Mississippi, man. For sure, man. I had a lot of fun in Mississippi, man. My paternal roots lie in Mississippi, man. My people came to Chicago, Illinois in 1960. That's why I'm in Chicago. But you know, my grandmama, my grandfather from the Mississippi Delta. You know, my great grandparents buried in Cleveland, Mississippi. So going down there for school was like full circle for me. But yeah, man, like I could not stand by idly and just let Cam rock with that. Like, Cam, no, we're not gonna let these big networks off the hook with this whole, oh, the fight now because they fought. Now they shouldn't be on TV anymore. No, fights be happening in all these big programs, bro. All these big programs. And they will never sit up there and tell you. They will never tell you we will never have these teams from the Pac-12, teams from the ACC on TV. No. It's never going to affect any of these other, even a smaller, hell, they won't even say we're not going to have teams from the Sun Belt Conference, the mid-major conferences. They still going to let the mid-major conferences rock out. It's just all different when it comes to HBCUs. And it's already terrible because HBCUs are already intentionally underfunded by the government, for sure, right? Over the years, the great players have been poached from HBCU programs because, you know, at first, all the top talent went to HBCUs during the Jim Crow era. And then they say, oh, we're going to integrate the schools now because we want them players to come play at these big schools. Now, if you was at Savannah State, now you can come play at University of Georgia, right? Now, if you was at Grambling State, now you can come play at Auburn. If you was at Jackson State, now you can come play at Alabama. If you was at Mississippi Valley State, or you was at Bethune Cookman, or if you was at Southern, now you can play at LSU. So yeah, man, they already been poaching the talent, getting the talent away from HBCUs. Now trying to be even, now you're trying to be racist with the, oh, we don't want to show y'all. Well, we already don't have visibility like that. And now the moment a fight happens, that's the excuse to try to pull HBCUs even more out of a showcase or a spotlight for a minute. So yeah, man, we ain't gonna let that happen. I'm not even gonna let that rock. But I had to speak on it because I'm like, yo, Cam, and his father went to a HBCU. I think Cam's father went to Savannah State, I believe, right? So, like, that's a conversation that you need to have with your father before you go out here saying that. Oh, it set us back. It set us. No, man, come on, bro. No, Cam. You can't, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that, bro. Because nobody says that about all these other, when these white dudes is fighting in sports and baseball or hockey, and nobody say that, oh, it's setting them back in any way. Yeah, HBCUs were loaded with talent from the 1960s to the 1980s. Yes, 100%. So many Hall of Famers. Do y'all know Jackson State got more Hall of Famers than the University of Florida? Right? Now, y'all would think I'm lying, but Jackson State got more Pro Football Hall of Famers than the University of Florida. And for how esteemed the University of Florida football program is, you would be shocked. Seriously. My school, Mississippi Valley State, got 2 Pro Football Hall of Famers. Probably the same. I think University of Florida only got 2 Pro Football Hall of Famers, 2 or 3. 3 maybe. 3. Jackson State got more than them. So that tells you where the talent was at during the 1960s and 1980s. Grambling, Eddie Robinson, man. Yeah, Grambling. Let's be for real, man. Grambling too. Alcorn State. Come on, you remember Steve Air McNair, Alcorn State. Donald Driver, Alcorn State. You know, so yeah, man. He said Cecil Newton. Now that's a brother name for real. A brother from the city. Brother named Cecil. Black Mall is hilarious. But Cecil is when your name's Cecil, you ain't playing. That when I think of a brother named Cecil, I'm reminded of a James Evans type black man. Black man that does not spill that rod, brother. He ready to discipline them kids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Like, what is we doing? Um, you said Cam is from the South, where a lot of the like, well, I don't know though, cause it's a lot of real brothers from ton of real brothers from the South. You know, my brothers from the South. Shout out my line brother, man. Shout out to Osceola, Arkansas. Shout out to Osceola. Shout out to Jonesboro. Shout out to Little Rock. A lot of my friends is from the deep South, boy. My brother Derek Jones is from Midnight, Mississippi. He said, when I hear that name, I think of baseball player Satchel Paige, Cecil. Certain names, you know. I hear a brother named Willie Earl. Oh, brother. I know you, yeah. Willie, when a brother got 2 names, Willie Earl, oh yeah, you black like it ain't nothing. And I know you from the South somewhere too, Willie Earl. And the girls be having 2 names. Emma Jean, the old girl, the older women, Emma Jean and stuff like that. You know? He said Melvin, and that's my homie name. So he from Chicago too. But you know, my homie, my homie that told us me and my crew had old names. My name Malcolm. My other homie name was Roger. He named after his father, Roger. Y'all got them old names. I'm from a town with no stoplight. Osceola ain't got no stoplights. No. I ain't know that. But yeah, man, I met some of the realest brothers in the South, man. Some of the realest brothers in the South. My I told you my son Godfather, he again from Midnight, Mississippi. One of the most brilliant men I ever knew. That brother got a PhD in mathematics. That brother sharp as a porcupine, boy. Uh to my meals, it's 60 degrees out. Gotta hit them streets. You see me looking like the Colonel up here, Juice. You see me with the Colonel Sanders button up on, brother. And the Kappa cane. You know what I'm saying? It's time. Well, what's my favorite song? And it's on, and it's on, and it's on, and it's on, and it's on tonight. It's about time that we met. It's about time. Let me stop. Oh, oh man. Hey, in Chicago, if it's 60 degrees in November, what? It's time to celebrate. Man, no, though. I had homies, even shout out to Tennessee. I had a lot of homies from Memphis. Memphis, Tennessee, boy. A lot of my homies was from Memphis, and we was listening to Ball and G, 8 Ball and MJG. My stepdad's mom was from Georgia, and she moved to Florida, a true Southern belle. She was like a third grandma for me. Rest in peace to her. May she rest in peace for real, man. That's dope. Says 75 degrees here in Denver. That in Denver, man. Listen, I'm enjoying all the warm weather we can get in Chicago. Listen, in Chicago, if it's 45, I'm cool. I don't care. 45 and 45 in December, 45 degrees in December, we outside, brother. We outside. Said Mary Ruth, right? That's another, name where it's an older woman named Mary Ruth, Mary Beth. There you go. My father was from Mississippi. What part of Mississippi your father from? Your oldest brother played for Alabama? See, it's another type of cold in Illinois. You're colder than a bit of baby mama. Colder than polar bear piss in Chicago. Now, this only, not right now, though. The cold really be coming in, that December, January, around that time. But I'm telling you, if it's 35 degrees in January, we good money. We cooking with grease, baby. I'm outside like, you know, I'm outside showing all my teeth. It's 35 degrees in January. But when that summertime comes, it's lit. Spring and summertime in Chicago, oh man, what? But yeah, man, Tylertown, Mississippi, I never heard of that. But again, Mississippi got a lot of towns I never heard of for real. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay, Ronald Hunt say Chuck Hunt checking in from Monroe, Louisiana. Good evening. I was in attendance at the Grambling and Bethune Cookman football game. Okay. What are your thoughts on everything, Mr. Hunt? What are your thoughts on everything? Because you say you was in attendance to watch everything go down. And me, I was criticizing Cam Newton for saying like, oh, it set us back. Like, come on, bro. Nobody hollered out Penn State got set back when Sandusky was doing what he was doing to them boys, the little boys. Ever heard of Taylor, Mississippi? No, I never heard of where Taylor, Mississippi at. What's the closest big town to Taylor? I don't know, that ain't in the Delta. Is it Sarah May? It's definitely. He said the rhetoric that Cam was spewing sets us back. Nah, for real though. The rhetoric Cam was spewing, like, Cam, what are you doing? All close to Holly Springs. Oh, okay. I know Holly Springs. Where Rust at? Rust is in Holly Springs. Shout out to Rust College, man. I got like 2 of my classmates went to Rust. 2 of my classmates from Chicago, Illinois. In high school, my high school, Morgan Park High School, went to Rust College. For real. But yeah, the rhetoric Cam was spewing definitely set us back. Like, brother, what are we doing? Because I'm just not into giving the white supremacist power structure an out to not showcase black schools. I'm not into giving them an out to get us off TV because of a fight. Like, let's be for real. Be for real. Look up Taylor, Mississippi dog man. What? You say can't Ronald say Cam was wrong for that. University of Louisiana at Lafayette and Texas State brawled in Lafayette, Louisiana at the end of the game. It was an ugly situation, but it happens at white institutions. Facts. This stuff happens at white institutions quite often. But for some reason, they want to act like this is just an HBCU thing, and the HBCUs is just, oh, it's a problem with black culture. We always just want to fight. Like, what? No, not at all. And I'm never going to let that be the narrative, especially when we've highlighted fighting by white athletes across other sports leagues, Major League Baseball, NHL. No. So, man, listen, in boxing, I watch Ryan Garcia say all type of N-words, say all type of racist stuff about black folks, and still get on mainstream networks and be able to talk and be able to, they have them all on their platforms and they have him all on their platforms and broadcasting with them and everything, you know? So to act like, oh, it's going to stop visibility because of this and that. They're going to limit our visibility. It set us back. Man, look, Ryan Garcia able to rock out, even after saying some of the most racist stuff you can think of about black people, about George Floyd, etc. He's still getting opportunity after opportunity not only fight, but to get money speaking on TV about boxing. Alvin Tugger said it doesn't set us back. PWIs have mass shooters, but people acting like football fighters work. Yes, exactly. They didn't have them at Florida State, all these big schools, and had all type of mass shootings. And still they don't say, oh, we don't need to Virginia Tech, all of that. They ain't gonna stop showing Virginia Tech teams. Cause oh my God, like the degeneracy running rampant. We can't have them on TV no more. No. Boy, they would have them on TV right afterwards and try to use that as a moment to rally the school. Right after that, D out here going in on Cam. I'm tired of Cam in general. I'm tired of him. His Mad Hatter rabbit top hats, his tight pants, everything about him annoys me. Yes, Sheldon. They still riding for Ryan Garcia, and it make me mad to this day. Ryan and black folks was out here they was out here excusing him for using steroids and everything, which is crazy. You said Cam and D-Jack was looking for that attaboy nod for them. Yeah, man. Like, again, Desean Jackson could be the last person talking about any degeneracy. Because Desean had blood allegations all on his name while he was playing. They were saying he had all type of gang affiliations all on his name while he was playing. So all that is ghetto talk and all of that, brother. Yeah, he cut it out. Cut it out. The league was trying to investigate Desean because they felt like he had a lot of gang stuff around him in general. Don't Be Sleep says folks pushing that anti-black propaganda. We have to find a way to stop that at the door. But these MFs be having the biggest audiences talking ish. That's a fact, for real. Truth. Oh, and look, Ronald Hunt made a great point. Cam Newton and Desean Jackson are wrong. Jackson better be glad he has a coaching job, which Delaware State University gave him an opportunity that California Berkeley did not give him. Yes, Berkeley was not going to have Desean Jackson coaching him at all. No, he played at Cal Berkeley. They were not going to have him. Again, a lot of HBCUs be giving people who want to coach an opportunity. And some of them feel like, well, the least you can do is give me an opportunity because I can bring visibility to the school. But they don't have to, in reality, they don't have to hire these guys just because they played in the NFL. But they're giving them an opportunity to showcase their coaching and recruiting prowess, right? So I feel like when you at an HBC, when they give you an opportunity, it is your job. I'm not saying you condone everything that happens at HBCUs, even if it's bad. I'm not saying you make excuses for everything that happens, but it is in your best interest to protect HBCUs. And protecting HBCUs means don't don't try to give these broadcasting giants an out to not show HBCU football because of something like a fight. Come on, man. Brothers was fighting all the time in practice at these PWI programs. At these Power 5 schools, they be fighting in practices. You done had dudes knocking teammates out in practice. So yeah. Black Maul said he definitely was throwing up the set after touchdowns. Yeah, man. It's like I feel like, and because I went to a HBCU for undergrad, I went to a predominantly white institution for grad school. But my undergrad, I was at a HBCU. I feel like a lot of these conversations, you like, man. I have to, when things are just getting out of line, I have to say something about it. Hey, and that's real, Ronald. The reason why Deion Sanders was hired at Jackson State University. This is the reason why he was hired at Jackson State. He needed a college coaching job. Florida State was not about to hire him. They were not, even though he is their most prestigious alum. They were not about to give him a job at all. They didn't care what coaching he had done at the high school level, none of that. They were not going to give him an opportunity. None whatsoever. So he had to go to the HBCU ranks and get his coaching gig and get his coaching acumen under him. And him coaching at Jackson State allowed him to get an opportunity to go to Colorado, to the University of Colorado at Boulder. Jabari Mitchell, what's going on with you, boss? How you feeling, man? So yeah, I feel like it is in my best interest. I have to protect HBCUs when I feel like there's rhetoric that's damaging around them, especially when it's unwarranted. Like, again, we're going to act like HBCUs just make they make the worst people because of a fight happening. No, that's silly. And is racist to even say that, to even think that we even thinking, oh, they're not going to want to show us no more because we had a fight. Like, nah. Man, I remember when Renardo, Sidney and them was in the stands, the basketball players, fighting each other. They represent PWI, Mississippi State now, throwing hands in the stands at a tournament in Hawaii. They ain't say we ain't gonna never show Mississippi State basketball team playing basketball no more. We're not gonna showcase them no more. No, they ass gonna be at the Maui Invitational again. Yeah, man, that weather right now outside of Chicago is lovely right now. Isaiah Thomas spoke on players throwing up gang signs in the NBA after baskets. He had a great take on it. I didn't even see that. I got to see what Zeke was talking about. Yeah, like HBCU was like we just fighting every time. That's the narrative they paint. Like HBCUs, every HBCU game is the Indiana Pacers versus the Detroit Pistons. That's what they making it seem like. Like we can't control ourselves. Every game, somebody getting hit upside the head in every HBCU game. No, most of the HBCU games is fun with some good football, some good with some great bands. We having some great field shows and all of that. All that they acting like people just getting whooped and people getting knocked out at every HBCU game. No. Yep, Ronald. And look, my boy Ronald Hunt coming with the facts. Michael Vick was not hired by Virginia Tech. Eddie George was not hired by Ohio State. Tennessee State gave Eddie George that opportunity. Norfolk State gave Michael Vick that opportunity. Yeah, they acting like it's malice at the HBCUs. Oh, the black culture. This black culture is just so, oh, it's just so degenerate. It's just so vile. Oh my God. Come on, fam. Yeah, man. Exactly, Juice. Oh, it's a he said, oh, it's a fight in the HBCU. Expose those Negroes. It's great content for them. Yes. Talk about how degenerate they are. It's like when I tell y'all Candace Owens, when she get on here on her platform trying to hold black folks accountable in front of an audience of anti-black white folks. She got an audience full of white people who hate black folks. So holding us accountable in front of them does absolutely fucking nothing. For real. And all they do when they watch Candace is say, that's right, Candace, expose those Negroes. Talk about how degenerate these Negroes are. That's right, Candace. Tell these Negroes they ain't nothing. And that's what Cam Newton them fed into that. Oh, it set us back. It set us back. Oh, we gonna be behind the A-ball again. Oh my God, they're never gonna want to showcase us again. We already have a lack of visibility. We're never gonna be on TV anymore. Like, no. If you out here saying that, you justifying it. Don't speak that into existence or justify that at all, Cam. Instead, you advocate for HBCUs. You know? Talking Grubbing Media. Yes, there are way more fights at PWI football games in general. Ohio State and Michigan fans fight a ton at them games. For real. 100%. The rivalry so thick between Ohio State and Michigan. Charles, what's my man name? Charles Woodson, he from Ohio. When he committed to Michigan, he got death threats. Death threats because he went there, and you know it wasn't from the black fans. They wasn't trying to whoop. They wasn't trying to do harm to Charles Woodson. You know who was saying that. Hey, Unstoppable 25, yes. And I remember when Desean first left and I was getting on people's head when they were saying, oh, JSU must have done something wrong for him to leave, or they were stealing his money. And not knowing when Deion Sanders was giving that interview with Earn Your Leisure, he was making a hypothetical. He wasn't saying JSU wasn't paying him properly or none of that. But they took a clip and ran with it. It was a hypothetical he was presenting, right? JSU's president said, we gave him all money that was owed to him. They made a statement saying we gave him all the money, or they had to done something wrong. All the crime in Jackson. That's why Deion left. Oh, they was robbing him. Oh, they took his stuff. Oh, they broke into the cars. Oh, Shador and them felt like their life was threatened every day at Jackson State. Oh, he had to leave crime-filled Jackson for crime-free Boulder. Making Boulder, Colorado, the land of milk and honey. Because the HBCU, Jackson State, had to have done something wrong. It had to have been nothing but animus. It had to have been nothing but, despair and hellfire at JSU for him to get up, for him to leave Jackson State. What? Deion wasn't worried about no crime in Jackson at all. Crime-free. Crime-free Boulder, Colorado. And that same crime-free Boulder, Colorado, you got people in Boulder looking at Deion side-eyed right now, unfortunately for Deion. So for all of that, because I knew when he came, I remember when he first came to Boulder, and all the fans was clapping for him and loving all on him. And I saw black folks talking about, you see, look at how they appreciate Deion compared to Jackson State. You had some of these bug dancers talking about, look at how they appreciate Deion compared to Jackson State. And yeah, look at how they looking at Deion now in Boulder. Right now in Boulder, they looking at Deion completely different than what they did when he first got there. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't like that whole narrative around JSU. JSU had to have done something bad for Prime to leave. No, the fact of the matter is, JSU does not have the money that Colorado has to pay him and his staff like that. And I believe Deion Sanders going to Colorado was about getting Shador and Travis and his sons to the NFL. And Shiloh, even though Shiloh not as good as the other two, right? It was all about getting him to the NFL. And he knew that people were not going to, unfortunately, people were always going to invalidate Shador's stats at Jackson State. So he said, let me go to a big program like Colorado and let's see him put up numbers there, you know? Yeah. Then DeAndre come out there talking about the crime in Jackson. People was getting unalive. They was getting murdered every other weekend in Jackson. Like, what is DeAndre talking about? Is that DeAndre the one that's with Hbcus right now? Like, yeah, oh, the cars get DeAndre was wild for that. Like, DeAndre, you got a baby by Hbcus. Like, let me stop. Let me stop. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I mean, DeAndre was out here acting like people was out here getting. She was getting unalived. Like people was getting unalived every weekend. What is DeAndre talking about? DeAndre, you was at the game. You was at the game, posted up, chilling, big chilling, hugging on Boosie now at the game. DeAndre, you couldn't wait. You was showing all your teeth in Jackson. We saw your back teeth. We was seeing all your back teeths when you was in Jackson. So it couldn't have been that crime ridden if you was smiling and skinning and grinning like that, DeAndre. Come on now. God damn. We can't run with that narrative, DeAndre. That ain't the case. You know that. Hold on, what you was saying? Talking in Grubby Media said, but Cam has been on that type of time when it came to dogging black folks. He said that black people don't get outraged when black people commit crimes against each other. He said that? Oh, hell no. That's that Auburn University talk. That's that shit when you've been at Auburn too much and they love on you and hug on you too much at Auburn, you start saying stuff like that. When you've been playing at Auburn too much, you've been up in the Auburn crowd too much, and you start saying stuff like that. Black folks are outraged when we unalive each other too. Being in Chicago, there are many protests, many organizations that are against crime in black communities. But what happens is the national media does not show people protesting against crimes within our own neighborhoods and communities. They don't show all these different organizations that are created to keep kids in programs and keep them out of the streets. You know, they don't show all these different programs who are staunchly against violence happening in Inglewood and Bronzeville and certain areas and all of that, right? Or Inglewood and Woodlawn, etc., stuff like that. They don't show these different programs that are out here fighting against crime in certain communities. They never show that. So they make it seem like black people don't care about crime when it's in our communities. They make it seem like black people just don't care. But we have enough information out here in this world and enough technology to see and know better. We got too much technology available to us to see that these programs are out here existing, where black folks are out here actively going against crime in our community. Yeah, DeAndre, you can't be this bougie and Hbcus baby daddy. You can't be this bougie and Hbcus is your. Come on, man. Damn. You was dating Boosie. Like you was kicking it with Boosie, DeAndre. How you gonna be bougie and all like this? And your old boyfriend was saying two red bones kissing in the back seat. What Boosie say? What he said? I told mama I'm thugging outside. We don't need cable. Now I'm the nipples on the titty. I'm the motor called the Hemi. I'm the V12 and that 760. Hold on. Y'all gotta know the verse. Sing the rest of the verse. When Boosie say, I ain't never had ish, but I can F a bad chick quicker than you can count to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, she hit. How you finna be bougie and stuck up? Talking about they were unaliving people every other weekend. I know Boosie had you around some trap dudes before. Like, cut it out. Like, all that. Boosie was on the Breakfast Club today. I had no idea. But yeah, though, like, anyway, when Cam out here, we got too much technology for you to say, oh, we don't never care when stuff happen to us. Man, you can look it up and see all these different groups that have been created, groups by mothers and fathers that have been created to fight against violence in Chicago. It's a ton of them. So yeah, for real, Cam can use he can use the internet to look up these heifers. Let me stop. That's some stuff my mama would say. uh oh yeah, that what about black on black crime narrative got to go. You got to stop. Like, for real. We got to cut that out. Because remember, Cam, in 2015, a lot of America was not rocking with Cam Newton and said, what is this dab stuff he doing? It's getting a little too African American-ish to me. What Donald Trump say? Look at my African American over there. Look at my African American. That's what they was saying about Cam. Cam was doing that dab. They said, oh, wait a minute. Hey. What is happening to our quarterback position now? Cam wasn't talking like G Wiz, G Willikers. They said, wait a minute now. Why is this guy talking like this? He's too hip hoppy. That's what they said about Mike Tomlin. They said Mike Tomlin the Dolphins said he was a little too hip hop-ish. What the fuck do that mean? Mike Tomlin don't even come across as hip hop-ish. They just said he too black. He too black. He look like Omar Epps. He looks like the brother from that movie Juice. Okay, with Tupac. No, that's what white folks call him. He looks like the guy from the movie with Tupac. Can't have him over here, buddy. Hey, pal. Can't have a guy that looks like the guy in the movie with Tupac over here. And it's no black on black crime is not a real thing, man. People commit crime amongst people they live in proximity to. And a lot of times black people live with black folks. I can speak for Chicago, Illinois. Black people live with black people in Chicago. Most people not traveling all the way across town to commit certain crimes. They're not, right? And crime tends to happen in areas where there's a lot of poverty, you know? So, yeah. Said Tomlin is R&B. Yeah, you know Mike Tomlin was listening to SWV. You know he be listening. You know Mike Tomlin be listening to Escape. You know he be listening to that. Yeah, he wasn't Tony Dungy enough. That's what he too black now. Hey, pal. Too black. But yeah, man. But anyway, y'all, I didn't talk enough. It's time for me to go get my little man. I'll holler at y'all in a minute. Talk to y'all a little later. Machiavelli Mills TV. Thank y'all for rocking with your boy today. I'm going to be back on here too, though. I'm going to be back on here. This ain't the last of me today. All right? I'm out, y'all. Peace. And yo to them nukes too, cause my LB in here. My ace. My dog at the front of the line is in here, man. You feel me? See, I was hold on. I was number 5 though. You feel me? And my ace was at the front. But anyway, he up in here too, man. Shout out to my ace and shout out to everybody for all the support, everybody that came to comment. I appreciate all the commentary that y'all lent to the conversation. And we will be back later on. I'm gone, y'all. Peace.